Hello, my name is Eloy Delgado. I am a teacher, an uncle to school-age students, and the president of over 1,000 individuals that work and serve in our public schools in Linden, New Jersey. With the impending reopening of school buildings, emotions are high and fears are very real. As my district continues to plan, the association has shared a lot of feedback with our administration, and we want to personally thank our superintendent, Dr. Hazelton, for being open to our ideas. As more information comes up, we will continue to share this feedback. We believe that as teachers, paraprofessionals, secretaries, nurses, and hall monitors, and all other school professionals, our feedback is essential in the creation of safe school buildings for whenever they reopen. I recognize that this process is not simple or easy, that the more conversations that occur, the more questions come up. However, it is important to fully contextualize why there is so much anxiety and fear, not only in our community, but in our state and in our nation. When the New Jersey Department of Education released its guidelines for local districts, cases of COVID-19 were around 20,000 per day nationwide. The number of cases in New Jersey had drastically dropped. Moreover, the rate of transmission was consistently below 1. I was slightly optimistic that we would be able to open under these guidelines in September, because New Jersey was on track of fully containing COVID-19. Since July, daily cases in our country have risen to over 70,000 per day. New Jersey is currently a house in the middle of a neighborhood that is on fire. How many of us personally know individuals that have traveled to hotspots lately and will be returning soon? Moreover, our rate of transmission has consistently now been over 1 for the last few days. That is indicating that COVID-19 is currently spreading throughout our community. So let me correct my previous statement. There is now evidence that our house, New Jersey, is beginning to burn once again. Our rate of transmission is the highest it has been since April. That is not okay. Much has been said about the coronavirus in children. Truthfully, not much is fully known. The most prestigious health departments around the world are still learning about this novel virus. The CDC just a few days ago released a study showing that children do contract the virus and do spread it. Even with social distancing, indoor dining, gyms, going to the movies is still banned because of how easily this virus transmits indoors. What is truly driving school employees mad is that officials keep speaking about how dangerous indoor environments are while having complete cognitive dissonance about school buildings. Most of our buildings throughout this state are over 40 years old, with almost no thought given to pandemic planning. Without a drastic federal economic investment and overhaul of all our buildings, reopening schools right now is a dangerous proposition. The current state of our schools and its effect on reopening plans is not an isolated problem, but it is a symptom of our economic system that privileges the wealthy and multinational corporations while damaging working families in our communities. It is a travesty that in today's day and age, working families can barely pay rent while corporations and Wall Street receive $4 trillion in guarantees from the Federal Reserve. If they really want us to fully open school buildings, there will be a massive reinvestment in our families, in our communities, and in our districts. The fix to this problem will not come from one place, and we must work together to right our ship for our community and our country. I am not blind to the consequences of keeping the physical school buildings closed. We should work together as a nation collectively to contain the spread of COVID-19 so that we will be able to reopen safely and soon. We must now take the time to develop a strong virtual instructional plan that takes into account the social and emotional needs of our students. Like every other local president in this state, I have been on the phone constantly with my members who are scared. They are scared for their parents, they are scared for their children, they are scared for themselves, and yes, they are scared for their students and their families. I have people reaching out to me about wills, leaves of absences, and plainly, just quitting. Many of us believe the state will eventually tell us to be fully virtual. But what the state is failing to realize is that people are making real life decisions right now that will affect them for the rest of their lives based on current information. I acknowledge that I am biased due to my life experiences. I know firsthand what it's like to not be healthy. I know firsthand what it's like caring for an elderly parent. And I know firsthand what it's like growing up having the deck of cards stacked against me. But what I truly believe in my heart, what I truly know in my core, is that when you have life and when you have health, we could overcome anything. There is no economic health without public health, and there are no academic gains without health and life. The reality is that we're asking school staff members and our students in this nation to participate in a dangerous experiment, one that could have devastating impacts throughout our communities. Dr. Fauci has essentially stated as much. I never gave consent for my nephews to participate in an experiment. I never gave consent for myself, and I never gave consent for my members. I am calling on the state to implement a slow and phased plan to reopen that begins with full virtual instruction. Then, as it gets safer, let us resume limited in-person instruction that follows a basic outline for the entire state. Having more than 566 different district plans with different schedules, etc., is causing much hardship for our NJA members for childcare and elder care. This is a once-in-a-lifetime event. History is watching how leaders respond to this crisis. Working together, we can overcome COVID-19, but we must end denial of our crisis. With much love, Eloy.